Oh my gosh, welcome back to my channel. I have missed this so much. Sitting in front of this camera used to be like I would be so nervous, but now it feels like coming home. I love to do this. I don't do it for money. Obviously, I don't get paid doing that. That's why I haven't filmed, is because I get paid doing court reporting, and so that obviously has to come first. But you know, my husband and I are firm believers that you have to have hobbies in life or things in life that make you happy and that you like to do to keep your sanity in this world where all of these crazy things happen every single day. So we love pop culture, everything about it. That was one of the first things that we bonded over, was our love for TV shows and movies and things like that. I mean, we have our differences, like he loves sports and I don't. I love the Real Housewives and just about anything on Bravo, and he does not. But makeup, you know, is something that I've always loved. You'll hear every beauty guru say that, and it's because it's the truth. Like, it's just something that brings us happiness, and I love to do it, and I love to film these tutorials. I like to do it for myself as much as I do for anybody else. I mean, I don't even have that many subscribers, so honestly, even if nobody wanted them, I would still do it because I do it for myself. So if I'm ever not filming or posting tutorials, then it's not because I don't want to. It's just because, I mean, work is really busy and I do have to make that a priority because that is how I make my living. Today's video is a 10-minute makeup tutorial, like an everyday makeup tutorial, and something you can just do on the fly when you're in a really big hurry, if you wake up late or you just don't allow yourself enough time, or whatever the case may be. You got kids, you've got to get out the door, then this is how I do my makeup in 10 minutes. Alright, enough talk from me. I'm so excited to be seeing you guys through the lens again. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and let's just go ahead and get started. So I know this is a 10-minute makeup tutorial, but I cannot apply my makeup without having some kind of a base, like some moisturizer and some primer. And that is especially important to me right now because I just recently, like maybe a week and a half ago, I had a horrible allergic reaction to something and my face literally swelled up like Hitch. Have you ever seen the movie Hitch with Will Smith and Eva Mendes? Like, yes, my face swelled up like that. Like, my eyes were big. Like, my face was huge. Bigger than it already is. And I got like these little blisters on my face, and then they peeled off. Like, it was like, looked like my skin was peeling. So my face has been really dry because of that, and I've been using like lots of sheet masks and overnight masks and everything to try to get my face back in shape. And today is the first day that I feel like my face is somewhat normal. It is really broken out through here though because I caved in and I ate some gluten, but it's not my fault that they make pizza so good. Why does it have to be so good? It's like my biggest weakness. So the first moisturizer that I'm going to start off with is the Tacha water cream. This is my favorite. I feel like it just sinks into my skin and really helps with the moisturizing, which it should because it's not a cheap product. The next thing that I'm going to go in with is the Farsali Unicorn Essence, and you really don't have to use a lot. I put 3 small dots on. I don't know if you guys know this, but yesterday was the 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park, and my husband and I, as you guys probably know by now, are super nerds. So we watched the original Jurassic Park last night. They remastered it in a 3D version, and it was amazing. I forgot how much I love that movie. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, but since Jurassic World is coming out soon as well, or Jurassic Kingdom, whatever it's called, is coming out soon, then we wanted to watch it anyways. But it was just so good. Next, I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Face Vitamin Enriched Face Base. And I just like to, I don't know why I like to do this after my primer, but I just like to fill it in around my nose where my pores are the largest. Then I'm going to go in with my foundation, and I have reverted back to my old favorite, the Georgio, I cannot speak today, y'all. The Georgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I'm in the shade 2 because I am about as pale as you can get. I like to just squirt a couple of dots on this Morphe mixing palette, and then I just like to take a little Morphe MB10 and I use that to spread it around on my face. And then I'm going to go in with my Beautyblender, and I'm going to start to just blend it around. So what about you guys? Are you guys big Jurassic Park fans? Jurassic World? Are you guys comic book fans? Like, I want to know this stuff. And one thing that I have loved about having my YouTube channel is meeting other people from other parts of the world. Like, I have a new friend that lives in Ireland, which is so cool because I have always wanted to go there. I have a new friend that lives in Australia, which is super cool because I always wanted to go there too. That's like always been on my bucket list. That and New Zealand and Bora Bora are like my top places to go. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my brows, but I'm probably gonna fast forward through this because I plan on doing a new updated brow tutorial. So I'm just gonna fast forward through this, but I can tell you that it takes me about 3 minutes to do my brows. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prime my lids. I am still using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer to do that, and the reason is because, well, it's pretty awesome, but I had actually switched to the P. Louise base, which I loved, but I ordered the shade Rumor, and which is their shade number 2, and their most popular, and it was just too dark on me, so I turned around and I ordered the shade 0.5, I think. So I'm hoping that that will work, but it was fantastic for priming the eyes, and I had ordered a few of them because I wanted to be able to give them away in giveaways, so I will be giving one of those away with the Life's a Drag palette. And then of course I'm going to set it with some RCMA translucent powder. To cut down on some time, I'm going to use this Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. It is her contour palette, and I'm going to use it for eyeshadow, contour. So the first thing I like to do is take like a large fluffy blending brush. So I'm going to go with the Morphe M441, and I'm really just going to dab it into these two shadows right here. And I'm just going to start on the outer corner because that's where I want most of the product to be. This is going to be like a very daytime look, and then I will start working it towards the inner corner. Just a light wash, and I'm gonna put it very lightly over my entire lid. I just recently started binge watching The Office on Netflix, and I know you're gonna think I'm crazy because I had never watched it. My husband watched it, you know, as it aired on television, and he has always said that it's like in his top 5 favorite shows ever. And so I just started binge watching it, and I'm already on season 4. I've been staying up way too late watching it, and he loves it so much that he has actually been watching it with me a lot. And I'm telling you, I've never ever laughed so hard in my entire life as I have when I've watched that show. I know it's like a huge thing, so have you guys watched it? I'm sure you have, because I think I'm like probably the last person on the planet to even watch that show, but it is so good, and I'm curious to know what everybody's favorite character is. I'm sure it's probably Dwight or Michael Scott. My favorite is like the duo of Pam and Jim. Like, I feel like they're the ones that stir everything up. I'm a romantic, so I love, you know, their love story line. I love all the pranks and stuff that they pull on people, and I mean, they're just, I don't know, it's hard to say, like, I mean, come on, how can Dwight not be the favorite? How can Michael Scott not be the favorite? I guess I would say those are my top 4 favorite characters, but then I love, like, everybody's so good on that show. I love Stanley, Andy, Angela, and her cat Sprinkles, or used to be Cat Sprinkles. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this darkest shade right here, and I'm just going to use that with this is like one of my new favorite brushes, and I got this in a boxy charm, and it's by the Vintage Cosmetics Company, but I have not been able to live without this brush. Like, it is so good for so many things, and it is the Step 3 brush, and it's called Go Girl Go, and I'm just going to use that. I'm going to dip it in that dark brown. I'm going to tap it off a little, and then I'm just going to use it to give myself like a little bit of like liner along my lash line. If you're somebody who feels like you have to have liner but you're in a hurry, then I always suggest using an eyeshadow because it is much easier to apply and it's a lot more forgivable. So if you mess up, it's super easy to fix it. You can just blend it out, and if you mess up on liner, I swear that just eats up your time so bad when you're trying to do makeup. And I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to blend it up a little bit and just into the crease. Just a little. And then I'm going to blend out the outer edge a little bit more just to make that a little bit darker. And then I'm going to go back in with that M441 and I'm going to blend that out a little better. And then I'm going to take this first shade in the palette right here, and I'm going to take an M167 brush. I'm just going to tap that in there lightly, and I'm just going to press this in right here just to make this a little bit lighter. And I'm going to tap it to blend it with the edges. And then I'll just go in and touch this up again with no additional product on the brush. Now, I know it probably seems like it just took me forever to do that, but honest to God, if I'm not talking to the camera, I can seriously do that in like 2 seconds flat. I'm just going to throw a little mascara on my top lashes, and this is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Nior. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not going to be wearing falsies because I can put false lashes on pretty quick, but I don't wear those in my everyday life, so, you know. I have also switched up my under eye a little bit. I now go in with just the Naked Skin Concealer, and I'm in the shade Fair Neutral. I just feel like the Tarte Shape Tape, it is so good, but I don't really need like super full coverage, and I just feel like it dries me out, and I don't even need a lot. Like, I'm putting this on very thin, like a very thin little layer. And then I'm just going to take my Morphe Beauty Sponge, and then I'm going to go back in with a very small amount of the RCMA translucent powder, and I'm just going to stamp that right over top of that concealer to set it. And then you guys can skip this step if you want, but I have been in love with this KKW Beauty brightening powder, and this is in the shade 1, and I'm telling you, it is just the best. So I just put a little bit on my sponge, and it just like, it is so good. It just brightens everything up. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in with that number 3 brush by the Vintage Cosmetics Company, and I'm gonna go back in with that darkest shade in the Shade and Light palette, and I'm just gonna focus that, smudge that about 2/3 of the way in. Then I'm going to go in with a Morphe R41, and I'm going to dip back into the first 2 lightest shades. Oh my god, I cannot talk today. And I'm just going to use that to blend out the edges a little more and sweep it up to meet the outer edge of the upper eye. Then I'm gonna go back in with this first shade in the palette and a Morphe M508, and I'm just going to lighten the inner corner up, highlight it just a little, but I want that to be matte because this is such a matte look. I'll put a little bit on the brow bone, and I'm done with the eyes. You can do lower lash mascara if you want, but I'm going for a more natural look, and I know this isn't real natural, but I'm not going to put any mascara on my lower lash line. Okay, so now I'm going to contour or bronze my face a little bit, and so I'm just going to go back in with those first two shades. I use more of this shade and then just a touch of this shade. So I will like dip my brush in here a couple times and then dip my brush in there like twice. So I'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I know, I'm weird. And then I'm just going to dust it off. So I'm just going to bronze up through here. And then I'm going to bronze up the forehead a little bit, but I put just a little too much on there. Blend it out really well. I've been doing like the whole less is more when it comes to like bronzer and stuff, but that is definitely not less. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my Morphe beauty sponge, like the flat side, and I'm just gonna kind of press it around on here just to lift up any extra contour that I might have put on. Okay, so now for blush, which I know you guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I'm gonna be using this shade right here for blush. Here's the thing, if I saw this as like a single blush in Sephora or Ulta or something, I would never pick this up and be like, oh my god, that's a beautiful blush, I want to use that. And I don't even think that that's what this is intended for, of course, but I was in a really big hurry the other day and I didn't have a blush like right on hand, so I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna tap my brush in there, and this is a Morphe R5, and I used it and I just tapped it in and I loved it. I fell in love. I feel like it just made my skin look so good. I mean, I don't know if it's because of my skin tone or what the deal is, but it's just like a really light wash of like peachiness, but I feel like it kind of even color corrects my skin a little bit, because if you can see, like on this side I haven't applied anything, but my face is like red through here, and I know you can use like green color corrector or whatever, but I don't even like to use like a super full coverage foundation, so I don't want to cake my face up with that much more product. Sometimes I will bring my blush like very lightly through here so that when my face gets red like this and blotchy, like you can't tell that it's as blotchy. But then, you know, sometimes it looks like I go overboard on my blush, which I do love blush, so maybe I do go overboard a little bit. But I feel like this just warms up my face and color corrects it, and it just helps everything. And it doesn't look like I went overboard on blush. I mean, it's just perfect. I just love it. And honestly, I will bring it just a little bit through here because, like I said, I feel like it does color correct that a little bit, and it makes my skin look so much smoother. I know that's crazy because it's just, you know, this one shade in this palette, but it's just how I feel, and maybe I am crazy, but I love it. So for highlighter, I usually go in with, my favorite combination is Privacy Please from the Kylie Wet Set palette and the Amrezy highlighter, but since this is supposed to be a 10-minute tutorial, I'm just going to go in with one, and if I had to pick one for an everyday look, I would go with this one because it's buildable, but it looks just so natural. I just like to put it on my beauty sponge and just blend it around. It goes on so easy and so smooth and almost effortless, like, and it's just so beautiful. And then for lips, I'm going to go in with this CoulorPop Lippie stick, and it is in the shade Bound. And it's just a really pretty, like, pink glossy shade. But it's not It's like a lipstick gloss. I know that sounds weird, but it's not like thick, like a goopy gloss or whatever, so it's so wearable, and I don't feel like my hair is constantly flying and getting stuck in it. Okay, and then last but not least, I'm going to use some setting spray. And so there you have it. This is the finished look. This is my go-to 10-minute routine that I do on most days when I go to work, or like today I'm going to have lunch with my friend Ashley. So super easy. I know it seems like I used a lot of products and I took a lot of time, but that was because I wanted to talk to you guys and explain what I was doing. And when I am just sitting in my glam room on a normal day and I do that makeup routine, it literally sometimes even takes me less than 10 minutes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to my channel again. And I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.